I'd like to bring the Clinton City Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. It is June the 20th, 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Roll call, please.
Mayor Jack Gilfoy.
Yes.
Robert Alexander.
Yes.
John Miller.
Here.
All
You guys have any questions on the minutes of the past meeting?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
I've got a first and second to accept the minutes as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Alexander.
Yes.
John Miller.
Yes.
How about claims?
Claims, I will say that major improvement, which is just going to happen over time. Eventually, we'll get it down pat. Hopefully, you got all the support you needed through John Moore and myself.
Department
Hopefully,
heads
it really
really
helped
helped.
out. And I know the department heads meeting went very productive. Hopefully, that's getting them. It's going to get better. It's just communications and learning. The only thing I have on these claims, I don't think you guys got the department heads. You all didn't get to see your accounts payable approval vouchers, but you did get all your reports. So that's
items that need fixed on our report.
yes. I got the cemeteries. We got a lot of that. Patty I just talked to clerk treasurer about before we give this over. We'd like you all, if you had a discussion on your claims, there's really everything's there.
I'll sign it when it
Just
fixes my problem.
yes, that's what I want to make sure is review the communications that we talked about, where you go in and see him, and if you have no problem, sign it. And but he'll have this, but he'll need to get in and sign it after he fixes those things. The only way you can just ask for the change, see the change, but you're actually not going to see it on these documents until next month, obviously. So I just ask for that cooperation as everybody goes through this learning process. Please sign this so we can get all the claims paid. The other thing I have is I have 2 wastewaters and 3 water vouchers from the utility side that just was late coming in. They were early, like back in May type bills that need to get approved, and I wanted to make sure that's included when we accept our claims. And we also accept the 5 vouchers. I just showed the clerk treasurer these, and Patty presented them, and she wanted to present them tonight. So it's important we get these because these are a little bit far back.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept the claims. That's been presented. Most of all the claims have been paid except for here, so we're really just accepting what's on the appropriations report.
I'll second.
Got a first and second concerning the claims on the appropriation report. Roll call vote, please.
Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Scott Miller.
Yes.
Then I have asked the clerk treasurer to make sure we get our receivable vouchers, which is he knows where it's at, and he just didn't realize that we were getting those. So like on your burial, anything that money comes into the city, there is a doc that will show that. So he's going to ensure that we have that at the next meeting. He does have it. He knows exactly where it's at. I called him just now and asked him about it. So he'll make sure that's included. I would like to make a motion to accept the 3 water and wastewater account vouchers that we have presented in front of us.
I'll second that.
Got a first and second to accept the 3 water and wastewater vouchers that has been presented to the Board of Works. Roll call vote, please.
Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Scott Miller.
Yes.
Do you have anything under old business? business. Under new business, there's a representative here tonight from Thrive West Central to talk about the brownfield grants.
Hi there, how you guys doing?
Good.
It's been a while. We just wanted to come and stop in and talk and let you guys know about the Brownfields grant that we helped secure for Vermillion County. This is an assessments grant and countywide. So what we're looking and doing is looking at brownfield properties, or properties that are those that can hesitate to be developed because there might be a potential for a hazard in it. So a lot of times people don't want to buy a building if they don't know if there's a hazard or not. So this grant will allow us to go in and do assessments to determine, one, if there is, and two, if there is, what the next steps would be. A lot of times when they come back and there's no problems, and then immediately everybody is happy, and then we have a better chance of redevelopment and reuse for those properties. So right now what we're doing a big public involvement situation. We've been going to all the towns and to let you guys know what's going on. Ask for your help. If you know of any properties in your area or even in the county somewhere that you think might have a potential, let us know. We can get it on the list, and that's all you guys would have to do. A lot of times we don't even need the address. This young gentleman next to me, our GIS analyst, and he's been doing some bang-up jobs with this. What he put in front of you is what we call a rec card. On the back of that, you see a QR code. If you scan that, it'll take you right to our website for the brownfields. It'll tell you more about the project. It's about $400,000 to do all these assessments. It's a phase 1 and then a phase 2. Phase 2 gets really into the soil boring and all of that stuff. But on that then is a survey, and basically all we're asking is if you know of a property located on the map, let us know. And then we are also asking the community and everyone involved what you would like to see happen to that particular area. Do you want to see a park? Do you think you need housing? And we're going to gather all that information, and then we'll come back to you guys and say, this is what your community has said about this. That's all. We'll report back to you guys so that you're aware of that, and then if you're moving forward, it might fall into some of the plans that you already have going on. So those are some of the things that we're doing with this. We've got about another year and a half. We're working with Atlas. Atlas is the group that will be assigning the assessments. So we'll help you guys gather the information. We'll give them the information. They figure out the eligibility, work with EPA, and then they'll do the assessment of the EPA route. So none of this is happening without owner participation. So I just want to make sure everybody understands we are not going anywhere unless that owner is right there with us. Is there any questions? You want to miss anything?
No, that was great.
Some of you may have seen us at the fair. So we did do the fair this week. And then we're hoping to be at a couple other events in Vermillion County.
Okay. Does anyone in the audience have any questions for him at this time?
Are those brownfields matching grants?
Is it a matching grant? This was not.
They're not. Okay.
No. So the assessments are completely paid by the grant. Okay.
And these assessment 1s and assessment 2s set us up for another round when we go to apply for a cleanup grant to hopefully clean up properties that need it, and then go into redevelopment ultimately of that land.
So essentially what we're going to do is we're developing, as we're doing this, a database. So in the county, and
So then the redevelopment commission takes it over from there and then decides what to do with
then
it.
they can decide if they feel that these properties would hit the priority and eligibility for cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the anticipated cost. If we could do 1, 2, or 3, whatever, then we do a collective decision on that and put an application into EPA.
Okay,
And then that EPA, if awarded, would help the cleanup.
right, okay.
Ma'am, I have a question for you, Bob Alexander. During this brownfield assessment grant, I know communities are doing some groundwork and things like that. Say if they not intentionally, but come across underground storage tanks from years ago that nobody would known about or never had record of. Is this grant looking at somehow assisting when these municipalities are come across this situation?
This grant would be only for assessments, so we wouldn't necessarily be able to use funds from this grant to help remove it.
Mhm.
Now, if you hit something and you're not sure what it was, you can ask and we can see if we can get an assessment in there to see if there's any contaminants to worry about.
But after it's
After
been,
that point, yes, unless,
so it's,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can't really do that.
it's
No.
got to be known
Yeah.
prior.
Well, not, we've got a couple of people, they know that they're not sure what's out there, they want to sell, but we might want to check, because you never know. We've got a lot of residents that come in and say, hey, we know that we got a gas station at every corner. It's vacant now. We actually have one person actually started, and hit something, and it's like, oh, so they gave us a call, and we just like, we'll go out and assess it. And the assessment came back, there was no concern. And just because there's something there doesn't mean it's a
Right.
hazard.
Yeah.
So they can come out and make sure one way or another. But like I said, the majority of them come back, phase one saying, we're good.
Thank you.
And this QR code, also, there's the website on the back here, so anyone can access our website, and it will actually take you through the education of everything we just said about the grant. Very open, and then it also links you to that survey right from the browser, and you can place in any places you think could be a potential brownfield or a property that you know of, and talk about why you think it is, and what maybe you would like to see there in the future, some redevelopment. So does that place need a grocery store, or child care, or just a town hall, something like that. So we encourage you guys to check these out, and I'm going to put them up here so you guys can
Well, you
grab
need
one.
to be either a 501(c), a municipality, or a government entity to apply for that, right?
Okay, if you have a property, if you're an owner of a property and you would like to know if there is anything out there, this is for you. So you just would contact us, and we'll get your name and address on the list. There are priorities, obviously.
Right.
One of the priorities is owner participation.
Right.
So, and then we would discuss that, and then we would, if it meets those priorities and criteria, then we would submit it for approval for EPA. There's that. Unfortunately, we have to ask EPA if we can do it. Once they say yes, it's paid for by the grant.
Okay.
Does that help?
Anyone else have any further questions?
So we are apparently doing a wonderful. We are working with Atlas, and Atlas is very impressed with our public involvement. And so one of the things we want to make sure that EPA knows is the number of people that we've actually talked with. So if I could ask all of you just to do a quick sign on the sheet for me, please, and that would show some of what we've been doing and how many we've reached. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and on our website, it shows the events we'll be at in person, and I'll be personally walking people through the mapping kind of sort of thing, so we can sit there and talk about where you guys might know of a location. So if you guys need help with that, please reach out to those events. We'll be there with a booth. We'll also have free brownies.
So yes. Be sure to, we didn't bring the vouchers, but if you use that one of the events, we call it brownies and brownfields. So come by and get a brownie with us. But as Tyler was stating, he's got his computer there, and go on up there and talk to him and point to it, and we'll put a little mark on there for you. And tell them we don't need to know anything else.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. The homeowner at 828 Blackman Street was wanting to address the board on a driveway cut. I don't know if she's here or not. I don't see her. So, okay, the CSO property accusations, I don't think that we're gonna,
Well, what I, Mayor, was hoping to do this evening is we do have 3 property owners that we've reached agreements with to acquire necessary easements. Sent you an email last night with the numbers in them. I don't. One's 5,000 with 8,500. The other one is 15 and change. So there's still 2 that we don't have, but I was hoping to get the board's approval this evening to go ahead and make those payments, because we will need to get a check from the clerk treasurer to pay for those easements. And there's still there's still 2 more that we need. One, I still think we might be able to get one of those before June 30th. I am very doubtful about the other one. And as I explained, that is going to push back our project timeline a bit. It doesn't affect it too drastically. We are going to have to probably submit a change to our long-term control plan to IDEM, but Eric feels confident that they'll be okay with that. They understand the circumstances. It really doesn't push back our construction timeline drastically, because there is another round. We have to get all this, we have to have site acquisition work done before we can finalize our application to Okra. That deadline is June 30th, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it. We've tried, Eric and I have been on the phone, we've had Zoom meetings, we've sent documents, but we just can't get a couple of folks to come see things our way yet. So, but I was hoping to get your approval tonight, at least to go forward with the 3 that we do have agreements on, so that we can get those taken care of and out of the way, and get those folks paid.
Make a motion to, per the email that the city attorney had sent out for the 3 assessments, acquisitions, go ahead and approve those.
I'll second that. Got a first and second to go ahead and approve 3 property acquisitions for the CSO project. Roll call vote, please.
Scott Miller.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Robert Alexander.
Yes.
Okay, next we have declaration of declaring surplus property and authorizing its disposal. It's Resolution 2023-7, declaring surplus personal property and authorizing its disposal. Whereas pursuant to Indiana Code 5-22-22, the City of Clinton has determined that certain personal property owned by the city is no longer needed or is unfit for the purpose for which it was intended and which the city desires to dispose of. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Clinton Board of Public Works and Safety as follows. The following personal property owned by the city is declared surplus property pursuant to Indiana Code 5-22-22. It's approximately 1,000 Clinton bricks recovered from the 9th Street project. Surplus property has a total estimated value of less than $5,000. Accordingly, pursuant to Indiana Code 5-22-22-6, the property may be disposed of via private or public sale. The surplus Clinton bricks shall be disposed of as follows. A, for a period of 30 days, the bricks shall be sold for $4 per brick with a limit of no more than 25 per household. After 30 days...
Speak up a little, guy.
Pardon?
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
For a period of 30 days, the bricks shall be sold for $4 per brick with a limit of no more than 25 bricks per household. B, after 30 days, any remaining bricks shall be sold at a price to be determined and negotiated by the street superintendent with no limitations on how many bricks any household may acquire. If passed, it will be adopted this evening, the 20th day of June 2023, and Cindy's aware of it. And I think that all the bricks are down at the sewer plant on pallets, and they have been stacked.
Where's that money go, Jack?
Pardon?
Where's that money go for the brick?
Well, we'll probably put it into our unsafe building fund.
Okay, because it's not in the thing you read, I just wondered.
Yeah.
Because usually they say where, you know, the money's gonna be used for in the ordinance, but wouldn't that be a council thing to pass the ordinance?
City attorney's here, I'll refer you to him.
Declaring surplus properties.
Yes,
Oh, okay, I just tried to ask.
yeah.
I just wondered when the money was going, you know. whether
You need to go
they
general
did
fund
that
for unsafe
money for
properties.
A fund or whatever, you know.
Does anybody else have any questions on
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2023-7, declaring surplus personal property, authorizing disposal.
I'll second it.
it? Got a first and second to accept resolution 2023-7, declaring surplus personal property and authorizing its disposal. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Alexander.
Yes.
Scott Miller.
Yes. And I think if we want, we can ask Cindy where she wants that deposited, because like Scott said, we could put it in general fund or unsafe building or the street department. So, whichever she sees where she needs the money, I don't know where she went.
Over here.
Oh, okay.
Nobody see me.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you are, right there. All right. Yeah. You're hiding from me, man. And as I said, they are inside the sewer plant. And Scott's got them on pallets down there, and they're all stacked and things. So if anybody needs to get in there, I guess they can call City Hall. We can make sure you're down there. Okay.
At one time, can you, how soon can you bid on those to buy them?
You can start tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned. We just
Okay.
signed a resolution, so tomorrow, 30 days from today. You have
All right.
30 days from today, and then after that, it'll go to...
I'd like to, that's why I asked.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
it's not really a bid anyway, it's just
Yeah.
per brick, so you don't have to, it's not like you have to
Yeah,
compete
so
against
you-
somebody, you just
yeah.
go down and buy the up to 25.
Five.
So.
Yeah.
And so if you go down in the morning, Rick, you can buy.
Can't leave and come back and buy 25 more?
But per household. Per household.
But I mean, I think after
30 days.
after 30 days, they're gonna have if they have some
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
at that point.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It'll be up to
I'm
her
wanting to put
discretion.
brick sidewalk, I've got a bunch of cut Clinton brick already, I'm wanting to put some down in a pathway down through my backyard.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. Be nice. Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have an addendum to employment agreement with Leonard Health and Water Specialists. Bob, you want to read that?
Yeah. Addendum to employment agreement. Whereas the City of Clinton and Leonard Health previously entered into a part-time employment agreement on April 1st, 2016. And whereas the parties desire to enter into this addendum in order to expand the scope of health services and clarify health status as an independent contractor. It is therefore agreed as follows. 1. For additional projects outside the scope of the duties stated in the employment agreement, health shall be compensated at the rate of $22.85 per hour, not to exceed $1,000 annually. This includes work health has and will be engaged in related to identifying and replacing lead service lines in compliance with the federal regulations. 2. It is agreed and understood that health is employed as an independent contractor and is not eligible for any benefits offered to employees of this city. It is further understood and agreed that health will be issued a 1099 for all payments made by the city for his services, and that he is solely responsible for all taxes owed on said payments. 3, except as revised herein, the original agreement shall remain in force, full force in effect. In witness whereof, the parties have, by their duly authorized representatives, set forth their signatures below. So that's the sign between you two.
Yeah, and I think that what this is, we have some new federal regulations that we have to meet, and we have to identify all of our water lines that have lead, and it's a 120 water, and it's going to be it's going to end up being pretty expensive, and it's going to be time consuming. So anytime Cindy would dig and she sees a water line that's lead based, she has to get a hold of Leonard, they have to get some pictures, and they have to document it. So, and we have found some already since we started this program, which was what, 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh, the corpse going on Ninth Street Road
Yeah.
that they pulled out so far.
So it's something that we definitely have to do, and it's we've already worked with 120 Water and possibly applying for a grant to help us in the future. So, does anyone have any questions on this time? No?
Make a motion to accept the addendum to the employment agreement for Leonard Health.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second to accept the employment addendum agreement for Leonard Health. Roll call vote, please.
Bob Alexander,
Yes.
Scott Alexander, Scott Miller, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything?
No. Nope.
Does anyone in the audience have any comments at this time? If not, I need a motion to adjourn. And the council meeting will start in 7:05.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I run every day. The older I get.
You guys ready? Bring the city council meeting to order. It's Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, 7:06 p.m. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Jack Guilfoyle,
Present.
J.T. Walker,
Here.
John Moore,
Here.
Dean Strong,
Here.
Bart Mooney,
Here.
Marty Shortridge.
Yep.
Minutes of the past meeting. Everybody got them and in agreement to have any issues with them?
Okay, number 9, the department heads don't do their stuff during our meeting, they do it during the Board of Works meeting.
I think last time, I thought they did it during our meeting, or the city council meeting.
I don't think that's good.
I'll scratch that then from the minutes.
Anybody got anything else? Make a motion that we scratch item number 9 and approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Got the first and second to scratch number 9 on the minutes. The department heads gave their monthly reports. Other than that, we'll go ahead and pass the minutes as presented. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Bart Mooney,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions on the financial report?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, looking back through what I've received since January, we have, minimal, very minimal entries, January 30th through May 13th. So all bills are now were put in April and May, and that's all correct?
They should all be taken care of, except there are some duplicate pays that we have paid. Sellers for one, unfortunately, we would get 2 invoices, and we end up using 2 invoice numbers for the same thing. So we end up with a couple duplications.
So you didn't make any corrections between January and May 13th? You didn't go back and enter anything between those dates?
I'm not sure what you mean.
The same question I asked last time. Do I have a complete set of financial reporting?
You should have, yes.
Okay. So
Up to date right now, yeah.
All right.
How come there's two local law enforcement continuing education fund accounts?
I can't hear you.
Why are there two local law enforcement continuing ed accounts? One of them's 2228 and the other one is 2420.
What was that first one? I heard 2420.
Okay, 2228 is also listed as a local law enforcement continuing ed fund.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that's the money we get from the court. One of them is money we get from the court, and the other is money we get from the county.
Okay, that makes sense. On the court deferral program, 2233, why is it in the red? Normally, it's got a $30 balance in it all the time.
You're exactly right. And I've been working with Melissa on that. We think we've found the problem, but right now I'm not exactly sure. She and I, like I said, have been working on it, so we think we know where the problem's at. It's just the amount of money that we put in, the money that I can take out. So it's in paperwork. It's not actually gone.
On the unsafe building, 2234, the disbursement year-to-date on our fund thing is 29,651, but on the appropriation report is 26,951. So one of them's obviously a misprint, isn't it?
I'm guessing that's right. I'll have to look at that and see for sure.
And then on the park security cameras, is that ever going to get out of the red, or what's the deal with that?
The only thing I can say about that is when we do our budget, that's when we're going to have to take some money and do whatever we need to do with that. I don't know exactly where we're at on it. It's been like that since I took over. So.
Well, yeah, it ended the year.
Yeah.
And then I noticed still in the appropriations, the mayor's office supplies is still in the red. And the city council, the electric, gas, and trash are in the red. And the clerk treasurer memberships is $955 in the red. And then the clerk treasurer education, there was $250 appropriated, but $1,100 has been spent. You?
Well, the $1,100 was for that State Board of Accounts school.
Okay, so it's for you.
It's for me, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not lost or anything.
Okay, well, I'm just wanting, because we didn't know about it,
Yeah.
and technically, I think it should have been appropriated, or, but since, you know, budgeted was $250, and you went ahead and spent $1,100. But
I think in my account, when we did the copying machines, when they came in and did maintenance on it, instead of dividing it up, I think it was all taken out of my
yeah,
account, so that's why mine went in the red.
yeah, I know. Well, your salary account's in red too. And I think you're probably going to want to get paid.
I don't know about that. We have to ask somebody. Ask Steve.
On the general fund, and your office supplies, which that's been explained as to why that happened. But then the trash for the common council gas, and the common council electric, the budgeted amounts are all three in the red. One of them $6,000, one of them $2,200, and the other one $600. So are they getting paid out of their own?
I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm not guessing, it is exactly what's happened early on. We had problems figuring out where to put what. And EOC gets a certain cut, Common Council gets a certain amount.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have not quit crunching numbers to try and find money for a police department raise.
Right.
By the same token, still crunching numbers to try and find everybody a raise. But the police department came to us, he had a pretty good presentation, and we do invest a lot of money to get those people on the force. We need to keep them once we've gotten them on there. So I'm kind of wanting to know where we're at financially before I stick my neck out and say, okay, we've got this that we could move for them.
Right.
You know, and that's why I'm asking all these questions.
I understand.
So.
Have you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Steve, on the cumulative fire,
And what?
cumulative fire,
Okay.
there's about a $25,000 difference in what's reported on the appropriation and what's on the fund balance. Why would that be?
A good question. I didn't, what appropriation or number is that?
4425 is your cumulative fire on your fund balance,
2425.
and it shows 37,083.07. But when you go to the appropriations for cumulative fire, it shows a balance of 12,482.35.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure why that is.
Could you check that, please?
I can, definitely.
Do you think you're pretty close on getting caught up with everything?
Yeah, really close. There's just some things we need to tweak, like double payments that we made Stellar's, for instance, is a good example. That money, the excess that we paid them will burn off, not a good analogy, I guess, but we'll run that down to zero because of the mowing that's going on with the cemeteries and different things like that. Yeah, I estimate that this time next month we know exactly where we're at.
Good.
Oh, and I had one more question, Steve. Why would the community center's deposits account be in the red?
I'm not sure either, unless it's, we taking money out of that account to pay for the electricity. That
The
wouldn't,
deposit account would just be when they pay the deposit to reserve the building. If you pay it back, they shouldn't get any
should,
more
yeah, it
back.
should be in and out, yeah.
motion that we acknowledge receipt of the financials.
I'll second.
Got a first and second to acknowledge receiving financials. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Bart Mooney,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
Yes.
And the new business, we have on your sheet there, on your agenda sheet, it should be an ordinance, which would be 6/2023-2, authorizing the clerk treasurer to appoint an employee. Ordinance 6/2023-2, amendment to ordinance fixing employee compensation for 2023. Be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Clinton, Indiana, that effective March 9th, 2023, the clerk treasurer is authorized to hire a part-time deputy clerk at the hourly rate of $10.50 an hour. It passed and adopted on the first read the 20th of June 2023. This will take 2 reads unless you guys want to suspend the rules. I don't know, Steve, if you want to talk about this.
Yeah, I've hired Tony as a clerk treasurer, and Dana, who's very experienced. She knows her way around Keep Fund, and also she's got a lot of experience. She's been a great help to me. Plus, one of the things that State Board of Accounts brought up is that we're going to need what they call checks and balance. Actually, I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but one thing is that when we pay out money, let's say, or take money in, that we need to have somebody verify that that's what it is. That's one thing that's going to be good about having a deputy. Plus, if I'm sick or something, like I think Dean brought up, what do we have in the way of a backup in case something happens to me, then she can take over the duties as a deputy.
Make a motion, we let Steve hire his assistant.
I'll second.
I've got a first and second to allow amendment to ordinance fixing employee compensation for 2023 for the clerk. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Bart Mooney,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
Scott?
Yeah, if you don't want to have to do this again next month, you would need to do a second reading tonight, vote to suspend the rules.
You can do it even though there's money involved?
Yeah.
I make a motion, we suspend the rules and have a second reading tonight.
I'll second it.
First and second to suspend the rules to do a second reading on this evening. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Bart Mooney,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
Okay, I need a motion for the second. It's on ordinance 6/2023-2. Give me a second.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second to do the second read on ordinance 6/2023-2, amendment to the ordinance fixing employee compensation for 2023 for the clerk treasurer. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Bart Mooney,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
We also have an ordinance 6/2023-1 amending sections of section 94-41 of the Clinton Code of Ordinances concerning excavations in public right-of-ways. John, would you read that, please?
Ordinance 6-2023-1, amending sections of section 94.41 of the Clinton City Code of Ordinances. Whereas the city desires to increase the fees charged for permits to conduct excavations in the public right-of-way. Be it therefore ordained by the Common Council of the City of Clinton that, number 1, section 94.41 of the Clinton Code of Ordinance is amended to read as follows. Schedule of fees. A. For each project and application shall pay a permit fee in the amounts listed below. Public roadway excavation or cut, $175 per cut. Non-roadway excavation or cut, $100 per cut. Push or bore under public roadway, $75 per bore. Public sidewalk disturbance, $50 per cut. Placement/removal of poles or overhead lines, $30. Open linear cut or bore, 20 cents per lineal foot. All other disturbances, $25. B. In the event that a project is started before a permit is issued, the applicant shall pay a permit fee of double the amount that would have been paid had the permit been issued prior to the commencement of the work. C. The minimum fee for any open linear cut or bore shall be $50, and the maximum fee for any open linear cut or bore shall be $5,000. Number 2. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its adoption and publication pursuant to Indiana law. If we pass it, it'll be on the first reading on 6/20 of 23.
On number C, where'd you get $50 at? Not on mine.
I can address that if you want, Mayor.
Okay, I did.
This was the one you said replace.
This is right.
Yeah, it goes right here. Not on there. Not on that one. Okay. So, up on line A, it should be applicant, not application.
It should be. That's fine. You're right.
Okay.
When John read it, I saw it.
So we go with this one, $50. Okay, okay. We'll scratch out. Cool.
The one you've got, Marty, is the one that says public sidewalk disturbance, $50 a cut. Is that right?
Yeah, this one does.
Okay.
The other one didn't.
Yes. And this is the correct one.
Okay. Anybody here represent any of these companies that?
I'm not here, but I did want to speak to it if I could, Marty, just because I'm not here to represent the companies. But this came up, I did this kind of quickly, so I apologize for, it was a last minute change based on some feedback I did get from a couple of contractors. I think it was Wednesday, there were a flurry of emails back and forth. There's a Spectrum, somebody's in town, and I knew there had been an issue earlier this year. Somebody wanted to go down South Main, and I'm looking at Scott or Cindy if they remember. And things are tight over there. And I talked then about changing and updating our ordinance on cuts in the right of way. I hadn't done anything, but this came up Wednesday, and I thought, boy, I better do something. So I did something pretty quick, and I just took what the City of Brazil charges. I knew Brazil had had some sort of issue though recently, because they had had somebody come in to do what Spectrum is doing, which is fiber throughout the city, and they realized, wait a minute, $1 a foot's too much. So I didn't really know the details, so I still use that $1 a foot. So I did hear from a couple of contractors, and they were concerned about that dollar per foot thing, because if you start putting something in up and down every street, you start running into tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there is a statute that says the permit fees are intended to offset the city's expenses in maintaining the right-of-ways and in marking the right-of-ways and things of that nature. So that's where I looked around. The City of Terre Haute charges 30 cents per linear foot, which was the highest one I found. 20 cents per linear foot is on the high side, but it's not the lowest, it's not the highest. So I thought that would be a decent point to come up with 20 cents, and then that 5,000 max and 50 minimum were just what I thought would, I mean, you can feel different, would be adequate. So if you had somebody who was coming in and they were going to do like Spectrum is, I think, up and down every street, they would pay $5,000 permit fee. Now, there would be other charges if you just want to put run a lateral from your house out to the street. That'd be, that'd be a road cut, so that'd be $175. Right now, we charge $35. You could be putting 20,000 feet of fiber in, or you could be doing a curb cut to put in your sewer, and it's $35 flat, no matter what. So I do think that it makes some sense to differentiate between those who are having a big impact, and there's a lot of locates and a lot of work involved for the city, versus somebody who's doing a small job. So that's the genesis behind what you have in front of you. And I did it kind of quickly Friday or Wednesday, and after some consideration and discussion, I thought the fees might be a little high, so I thought they should be reduced. So that's what that's about.
On line C, what if they have to make an emergency cut or drill?
Well, I would assume in an emergency circumstance, then they would just be able to come in after the fact and pay their fee.
That's the way the thing reads.
Right. Well, I mean, that's like, that's like
Somebody's
speed
gonna have
limit.
to determine emergency.
So you want B, not C, right?
That's B. Well, yeah, B.
Absent emergency
Double
circumstances.
the amount that would be.
We can change that. That's
I
fine.
mean, the city could determine if there was an emergency or not.
Yeah, that's what I would assume she'd do.
Yeah.
This is governing projects though, and if you have an emergency project, I don't know where you're gonna have an emergency project unless a water main explodes and you start getting a
Go with
guy.
your horizontal bore and you don't know what you're gonna hit.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be an emergency if you're gonna do a horizontal bore. They're gonna know ahead of time that they're gonna do it on one day or another.
Yeah, there's already an ordinance that requires them to be bonded and fix everything. This is just changing the permit fee structure. And I don't know if there's anything I didn't.
How does that affect like people like Joint that are already born in town and stuff?
Well, if they already have their permit, then they already have their permit.
So
They
they're
don't have-
grandfathered in on that
But
then?
if they have their permit, they have their permit. This would just be anyone who does not yet have a permit. So, but I can add something in there just to clarify. I mean, it doesn't hurt if there's not something already in the ordinance about emergencies. Because obviously, if somebody has an emergency, then they have.
We get the emergency 811 tickets. I get them through my email, so when there's an emergency, then I forward them on to Scott. So we pretty much know when there's something going on.
I'd say it's okay then.
As somebody who does this quite often, has and will again, I think the fees are actually a little low. I'm actually getting ready to pay one, so I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. But for what people come into town and do and the problems they create long term, I think the fees are too low. We need to be charging more and bringing more money back in to fix the repairs long term. Because even if they're repaired correctly, they still cause additional repairs long term faster than what they would have had it not been cut. Is that charging homeowners as well if they want to repair their sidewalks?
Repair your sidewalk is not
Okay, so it's just where you're actually doing a cut as a company, as a contractor. Okay.
Or if we-
Go for it. Okay.
Since he said that, can we go back to version
The dollar, I think, would kill us. The dollar, I think. We're gonna go for the dollar kill.
40 miles of streets in this town.
Yeah.
We make some money.
Everybody boring is gonna make some money and hand over fist. I mean, we might as well too.
Well, when they bored the power lines down the sidewalks on Main Street, they hit some stuff. But that can be expected. Wait on a motion. I'll make a motion to accept that.
Yep, sure. Oh. Yeah.
Somebody make a motion.
I started to.
Okay.
I did already start.
Marty made a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion we accept this
I've got a second.
as rural.
Okay, I have a first and second on ordinance 6-2023-1, amending sections of section 94-41 of the Clinton Code of Ordinances. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Martin Boone,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
Okay, that's the first reading. This will require a second read.
Unless you want to suspend the rules. Up to you guys.
Make a motion we suspend the rules and go for the second read. Second.
Got a first and second to suspend the rules and go for a second read on ordinance 6-2023-1. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Martin Boone,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
Now I need a motion to go ahead with the second read. Marty made the motion and Dean seconded. Be the second reading of 6-2023-1 ordinance, amending sections of section 94-41 of the Clinton Code of Ordinances. For the second read, roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
John Moore,
Yes.
Dean Strong.
Yes.
Martin Boone,
Yes.
Marty Shortridge.
Does the council have any comments at this time? Does anyone in the audience have any comments at this time? If not, our next month's meeting is going to be delayed 1 week because a member of the council won't be able to be here, so it'll be the 25th of July, which would be the 4th Be the same time.
Board works meet the same time.
Yes, sir. 6:30, council following 10 minutes after. Okay, if that's it, then
Make a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Second. Thank you.